Hello there. I got a little stuff to take care of. Thank you for joining me. Anybody that joins me, my name is Ken Tracy, and this is an edition of my long-running show, long-running 5-year show, called Coffee with Ken. But this is called Stay at Home with Ken. And the reason it's called Stay at Home with Ken is I just laid my 2 babies. I have a little girl named Eve who's 1.5, and a little boy who's named Augie, who's 3. Just laid them down for their nap. Little backstory, my son Augie has Down syndrome. So although he's older than Eve, he's a little bit behind developmentally. And because of this, and I didn't know it, it's really like having twin babies because they're both roughly the same, kind of learning how to talk, kind of can walk and run and toddle pretty well. And I don't know, it's my life. And we just had a therapist in visiting Augie, because I live in the state of Illinois. I live in Naperville, Illinois, which is just outside of Chicago. Illinois is really good at doing early intervention for kids with special needs, and they send out therapists basically since birth to help them develop and stay up as best he can before he hits his 3rd birthday, which he's going to hit on April 30th. On April 30th, he's going to go to a preschool named Ann Reed, and he's going to take the bus like a big boy, and his dad is kind of nervous, but we can maybe get to that later. My daughter Eve and I were hiding in the sunroom where I'm at now while Augie was getting his therapy. When the therapist left, I gave him lunch, laid him down, but I got some cleaning to do. Evie, this is a little bit of cleaning, or a little bit of mess. She got into the plant, and I don't know if you can see it, but she put the remote in the plant. There's dirt on the floor. And this is just another day in paradise at my home. And rather than do what I normally do, hello, Robert Patrick. Hello, T-Bones. Hello, Kathy, Carol, Cindy Lee, Glazed Dogs, PD, TTP, and Jake. Hey, PD, thank you so much for sharing the live. I really appreciate that. What I normally do when I lay my kids down is do a real quick half-assed job at cleaning up the house. And usually that can take me up to 20 minutes. And rather than do that today, I thought, I don't know, you could keep me some company while I cleaned up. So maybe I could call it Cleaning with Ken. But before I do that, every now and again we need a little bit of caffeine to get us through the hurdles we have in front of us. Good afternoon, Josh. And since I got some cleaning to do and I still had about half a pot of delicious coffee, I wanted to have a sip. And my hope is that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Hello, Star. Long time no see. So cheers to us. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's good. You're going to come with me. We're going to be mobile today a little bit. And I'm going to do a little cleaning. And I'm going to be productive. I'm going in my coffee center. I'm drinking right now. It's called the Cameron's Vanilla Hazelnut. It's really nice. Kind of reminds me of Dunkin' Donuts Vanilla Hazelnut. A very similar flavor. What we've been drinking for the last several days is the 8 o'clock coffee hazelnut. And I realized, although I'd never tried this before the other day, that I really enjoy the Cameron's vanilla hazelnut. It's smooth. It's just kind of right. And it's just kind of right. And I've really been enjoying it. And honestly, I wasn't enjoying the 8 o'clock coffee quite as much. And I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to keep drinking some coffee. If you're bored, you can tune off. If you're into it, please ask some questions. But I got a couple minutes of cleaning here before I can sit down and comfortably enjoy a conversation with you guys. So I'm going to just get to it. And I'm still here, and I'm going to narrate as I go. Babies are sleeping. Star, I laid them down about 10 minutes ago. And before cleaning up, I decided to hop on live and drink some coffee. But I'm going to do a little cleaning, and I'm going to keep narrating, and you do you. First thing I like to attack, I think the biggest thing about cleaning is putting everything back where it belongs. And there was a blanket on the floor and a pillow on the floor because my 1.5-year-old was having at it. And I think half of cleaning is just putting things back where they belong. So I feel better. I do not like blankets on the floor. And I don't like pillows on the floor because, I don't know if you saw, I got a dog, Holly. And dogs, as much as I love them, as much as I love dogs, I don't know. They roll in dirty stuff. They roll in dirty stuff. Hi, Jack. I'm doing well. I'm going to do a little cleaning in front of you. Okay, now that I've fixed the biggest issues that were bothering me, the blanket and the pillow that were on the floor, where my dog Holly kind of walks around and licks and sniffs and sheds. I'm going to go to thing number 2 that bothered me, the dirt on the floor by the planter. So I'm still here. And nice thing about hardwood, and for those that have been watching, you know I was a realtor for 17 years. This isn't real hardwood, it's that synthetic stuff. And we used to call it, what did we used to call it? I don't know, what did we used to call it? It was some cheap name, and honestly it was a cheap product. But now, okay, let's sweep this stuff back. What do we call it? Does anyone remember? What was it called? What was it called? I mean, that's a fair job. I can do better. Now, hold on. Hang with me. Hang with me. What was it called? But it was cheap, and it looked cheap, and it would have soft spots, and it would buckle in the floor, and overall, you know, it didn't scratch, and it was cheaper than hardwood, but it didn't look real good. And, yeah. All right, so I've taken care of the dirt, and I put it back in the planter. And again, I'll show you what I'm talking about. That's not real hardwood. It's some synthetic thing. And I forget. But overall, it's pretty good. My next issue, laminate. Yes, synthetic laminate. I appreciate that, Judy. My next issue. Again, I've got 2 little ones. They go through a lot of laundry. Kids tend to, I don't know, and this might be more information than you need, but I don't know. I don't wash my jeans every day, I promise you. But when my babies are eating some peanut butter and jelly or pineapple, like I was just feeding them for lunch, they're ripping it apart and digging their fingers in the peanut butter and smearing it on them, and so they get dirty. And one thing I like less in life than dirt is stickiness. So jelly, peanut butter, all that stuff, it gets very sticky. And I like to wash it off, but sometimes it won't come off their PJs or whatever. So we go through a lot of PJs. I did a big load of their PJs yesterday. I had a few moments this morning and thought I'd put it away. And as soon as I did, the therapist came to see Augie. Eve and I came in this room, the sunroom, and she went to town unpacking the PJs, and there's a trail of it off that way. So I'm going to pick up a few and put them in the drawers. They're appropriately labeled drawers while you guys are sitting here. And again, feel free if you're, and it's hard because they're roughly the same size, but Augie's a little bigger, so his clothes don't exactly fit the same. But if you're on the edge of your seat as you're watching me put away my baby's PJs, I can understand. I'm sure it's fascinating. But I'm just going to keep doing it. And if you want to watch and hear me narrate, we're going to keep going. Again, what's nice, fortunately, I don't have a boy and a girl. But I guess if they were both boys, we wouldn't need separate PJs maybe, but obviously a good boy color and a slightly more feminine color. And Eve's I was going to say a real girl's girl, but she's pretty tough as well. She's takes a beating and keeps on ticking. And Augie picks on her a lot. And again, he's got Down syndrome. And oftentimes I might refer to him and maybe treat him a little different. I try not to. I don't know. I try not to, but I probably do a little bit. But I try not to, and I guess that's all we can do. But because he has Down syndrome, I like to pretend he's perfect, and he's a little angel, and he's my little nugget of love, and that's what I call him. He's my little nugget of love, and I think he was a gift to me from God, because I needed something to focus on at a time that was hard for me, and out came this little boy with Down syndrome, and I never thought I had any ability or skills or, I don't know. I was terrified, to be honest. I didn't know what I'd do or how I'd handle it or how he'd be or what have you. And I will tell you what, that's almost good enough where I can sit down and talk. Will tell you what, he has been such a life-changing ball of joy. I'll just speak for me. And again, he's not perfect, although sometimes I like to call him perfect. He's not. Nobody's perfect, not even those with Down syndrome. But there's just a sweetness to him, but at the same time, a certain devilishness to him that makes him, hard to not love. And again, I take him to church, my daycare there. I think he's the most popular kid at the church daycare. And he's going to be going to preschool soon. Sorry, I had to pick up some crayons that Eve decided didn't belong in their appropriate drawer. He's going to be going to preschool soon. And my guess, I think when I was a kid, it was a tougher world. I know it was. And kids with special needs went to separate schools and drove in separate buses and probably got picked on. And And I'm, as a dad, a little nervous about him going to preschool. But at the same time, super excited for all the experiences and life that I know he's going to, have and is able to have. And, again, the difference he's going to be able to make and the smiles he's going to bring to the world as he just kind of walks around life, goes around life, being him. Whew. So I'm already out of breath. Let me grab my coffee. It's over here. I apologize. Let me see. All right. Again, not a perfect cleaning. In a perfect world, since there was dirt on the floor, I'd get down on my hands and knees and get a rag and some soap and scrub. But it's not a perfect world, and I do not want to get on my hands and knees and be cleaning while, I don't know, we're doing a lot. I mean, I'm not above it. I think I've done it before. Star asked if she's talking. Eve? Holly's not talking. No, I assume you mean Eve. Yeah, she's working on some things. She'll be, a year and a half in mid-April. And she's kind of saying some things, and she always has, and she'll kind of say, ba-da-da, like that or something like that. Or we'll imagine she's saying that she loves her dada the most, or dada's such a handsome dada, or she was so lucky to get a dada like dada. I mean, maybe we don't. Maybe those are the things I'm imagining she says. Thank you, Jack, for hopping on. But I'm imagining those are the things she says. And I'm not totally sure that's exactly what's really coming out of her. Sweet Uncle Rory followed the live creator. I so appreciate that, Sweet Uncle Rory. I've been here on TikTok for it was 2 years, like around Thanksgiving last year. So we're coming up on 2.5 years now. My page is growing. Again, I said I'm a stay-at-home. This is called Stay at Home with Ken. I'm a stay-at-home dad, roughly 4 days a week. My wife took a job, in November that she happens to be really, really good at. And I remember before she took it, I said, hey, if I was making $250,000 a year creating content, would you still want the job? And she said, yeah. So, all right, go for it. And she's doing great. But it's tough on us, to be honest with you. I think the kids miss her. I miss her. And she misses the kids. I think it's especially challenging because she has 3 children, my stepkids from a previous marriage, that honestly I don't think get to see their mother as often as they should or could or I would like. And they are 9, 13, and 14. And, I try my best, but sometimes you feel like your best isn't good enough. And I think personally, they'd be a little better off with a little more direct mom and dad one-on-one time. And I'll tell you what, that's hard on me. And I do a lot of videos about anxiety and struggling and issues, and people often wonder, hey, why isn't your life perfect? I think I hope my life is perfect, and I hope I try and be perfect and maybe strive for perfection. The kids see their dad enough, but I mean, not enough. I'm a dad, and I don't think my kids, my older kids, see their dad enough. I know they don't. I got 2 girls that are 14 and 17, and I don't see them nearly enough. I see them, a couple times a month when I'm going to their track meets or their gymnastics events or their dance contest or if it's a special holiday. But now that they're older, I don't see them nearly enough. And I would bet that is true and it's certainly not out of lack of want on my part. And it is just hard and harder than probably most men realize. It's one thing when they're little and you get them every other weekend and on Wednesdays or whatever the deal is. But as they get older and busier, their priorities change, and they have friends and they have activities and they have this and they have that. And hanging out with dad isn't top of their list. And I'm speaking about me. But I just know it's tough being a divorced dad and not seeing your kids as often as they'd like. And I want their dad and mom to spend as much time with them as possible. And now that I'm staying home, I kind of sometimes feel like a substitute parent a little bit more than I'd like. And it puts a lot of strain on me because I feel bad and I want them to see their mom and dad more. And because I'm doing my best. But again, sometimes I don't feel my best is good enough. So, yeah. All right, Holly, you go lay down. This is my dog, Holly. She likes to hog the camera when I go live. And she requires a lot of love and attention. And I'll tell you what, I talk about stress and anxiety. Being with 2 little ones can be stressful, especially when it's cold and you barely can leave the house. And we're in the front room a lot. I'm in the sunroom right now, but the front room's kind of a nice sized room with carpet and baby-proofed and what have you. But I'll sit in there, and we got the baby gates up. Holly, go lay down. Go lay down. I just don't want it right now. And I'll talk about that in a minute. We'll have the baby gates up, and I'll have the 2 little ones coming at me the whole day, and then Holly also fighting all day long. And I love my babies, and I love Holly, but all day long having 3 creatures need your love. By the end of the day, I cannot tell you how exhausting it can be, because I think you only have so much love to give. And I think there were times that I've been struggling over the last couple months that my love meter was on empty and there was nothing left for me, and I was struggling because, again, she just constantly wants pet, which is nice. She made a yucky sound. Come on, Holly, go lay down. Come on, go lay down. We'll see how long that lasts. But anyway, I felt my love meter running on empty and my stress meter on high. because at the end of the day, trying to change diapers and stop Augie from picking on Eve and having Holly in my face while I'm doing it all at the same time. You do your best you can, but I'll tell you what, it's been harder and more stressful than I would have imagined. And at times it's tough. And again, I'm sure I'll look back and wish they were still little, and I don't want them to grow up too fast, I can promise you. But just it is more challenging than I knew, especially even though they're 3 and 1.5, because Augie has Down syndrome and is a little behind developmentally. It's like having two babies, and can be tough. And Holly's kind of a third baby, and sometimes some other people that live in this house seem like they need a lot of dad's love. So let's have a little more coffee. Yeah, Star. I don't know if I'm ever right about anything. But I have thoughts and I have experiences and I've had highs and lows, and I've, been rich and been broke and been in love and been divorced, and been as joyous as anybody, but as sad as anybody as well. And I think by sharing kind of my story as it unfolds, I don't know, hopefully somebody can learn something. I just did a series of videos. I always go back and edit these videos, and they become either shorts or reels or TikToks, and I spread them all over social media, and some of them get a whole heck of a lot of views. And I'll talk about sobriety or mental health or relationship struggles or financial struggles or whatever. Just posted a video, a live, or clips from a live video that I did about 8 days ago. And I'll tell you what, looking back, it was a really hard day for me. And I talked about feeling the sadness or the depression or the anxiety or this and that, and how I got through it. And it's almost like a play-by-play of one man's mental health or lack thereof. And I just posted 2, and I got the third one to post in about an hour. And I'm hoping there's some value to it. I think there's a lot of people that struggle with a lot of different things out there. And most of us don't want to talk about our struggles. We'd rather talk about the promotion or the vacation or the getting first place in the race or whatever. But I find the beauty is in the, I don't know, the more darker side of life sometimes. And I think by sharing that side, especially because I do it with a smile, I think it kind of, hopefully provides some inspiration for anybody out there struggling. Andrew asks, how long have I been sober? October 28th, 2021. So at the end of April, it'll be 2.5 years. So I'm 2 years and change. Again, I used to drink alcohol and smoke pot every day, and would average 8 beers a day, and would start early and finish whenever I fell asleep, and was fighting with my wife. And not that fights end just because you're sober, and life doesn't change that dramatically, because some days it rains and some days you get a flat tire, and you still have bills to pay. But I think you're more able to handle it with being sober, and you're more able to healthily deal with the anxieties and the sadnesses and any mental health issues you have. I know a ton of people, I'll say, abuse drugs and alcohol to deal with anxiety, but I found, and again, I'm 2.5 years sober, I found the drugs and alcohol were part of the problem. They weren't really the solution or the cure. And I know for me, I'm in a better place, and I feel more proud of myself, even though life's not perfect, not wondering when I'm going to have my next beer or hit or whatever. And that part of my life feels really good. And honestly, and this is going to sound weird because people say, oh, I know it's so hard. For me, it's been really easy. One day I said I'd had enough, and I've had enough. I think there's I know there's a bottle of champagne in the fridge and nobody's home. I think there might even be a bottle of whiskey in the garage, and again, nobody's home. And if I was really craving it, if I wanted to drink or smoke, I probably would drink or smoke. But I just decided I didn't want to on a really dark day in my life, and a day that I was feeling really low. And at night, as I'm staying up, thinking the darkest of dark thoughts, I said, hey, why don't we try tomorrow without drugs or alcohol? And I don't know, here I am 2.5 years later, still navigating my path, still doing my show, still doing my best, and still fighting the good fight and trying hard. And I guess sometimes that's all we can do. But it is, do I date? Vanessa, no, I don't date. Only my wife. Only my wife. But anyway, what was I going to say? Again, it's Thursday. It's February 29th. It's leap year. Leap years don't happen a heck of a lot. What is it? Every 4 years we add an extra day to the calendar and we call it February 29th. It'd be weird to be born on February 29th. I wonder if you'd call your, since it disappears all the other years in the calendar, I wonder if you'd say your birthday was February 28th or March 1st, or would you just say, my birthday's February 29th, but I only get a birthday party every few years. And yeah, so I don't know. Somebody asked me the other day if I liked leap years. And I don't know. I don't know how much there is to like about leap year. It's just one more day. And I usually, and again, I talk about goals, but I also am flexible on them. If I don't achieve my goals, I'm usually learning. If anything, I'm way too hard on myself. And I think we're all probably hard on ourselves, and we're our own worst critics. And my inner voice can be really, really mean. So I'm learning to loosen up, and if I don't accomplish anything, me of 5 years ago might have said, oh, you suck, or you're stupid, or you're an idiot. And now I'm learning to go, well, we'll get them tomorrow. And I think we'll get them tomorrow is a hell of a lot better place to be than when you're telling yourself you suck, or you're a failure, or you're a loser. And anybody out there that's got a negative inner voice, even me with a big smile today, woke up this morning with a lot on his mind and popped on some positive affirmations, some 20-minute morning affirmations. And I only heard it for about 5 minutes because then I had to go get my son Augie at like 6 in the morning. And we ended up watching Sesame Street. But even that 5 minutes of hearing some positive words about yourself made me feel a little better and a little more able to love on my kids the way I want and go about my day and be as productive as possible. But life for me is not easy. I wouldn't change my spot with anybody because I really love who I am. I I get made fun of for this sometimes on social media because I'll do some videos where I'm on the verge of tears. One of the videos pinned to TikTok, I cry at the end. It's a beautiful video. Both of my videos pinned to TikTok are really beautiful, and for anybody that's new, I'd recommend watching them. But I was out this morning, and again, I had to get out of bed listening to some positive affirmations to get me going. And I realized that although I do struggle with some anxiety and depression from time to time, I think I appreciate sunrises and birds chirping and fall and summer and spring and winter like nobody else. And I don't know, appreciate the sunsets, and I smell roses, and I do my best, and I try real hard. And again, sometimes trying hard is all you can do. So let's drink a little more coffee. But anyway, I'm so excited. It's Thursday. And again, my wife works on Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday. And again, I've been a realtor for the biggest batch of my life, and I was a stockbroker, which has a fairly flexible schedule for a chunk of my life. And I've rarely worked Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 type jobs. So my days off, if you will, are kind of upside down. And I almost don't even have Friday nights anymore. I don't even. Yes, it says Friday on the calendar, but I never let my hair down and go crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm getting older. I'm 55. I enjoy sleeping and getting a good night's sleep and waking up and feeling good and making some coffee and having some quiet moments before my babies get up and taking my dog Holly for a walk. Just, yeah. Taking my dog Holly for a walk and watching the sunrise and turning the fireplace video on my TV and hearing the crackling of the fire. But I lead an amazingly quieter life than I used to, despite the 2 babies and the 3 stepkids, the 2 cats, the dog, and the wife, which is all a work in progress. But an amazingly quieter life. The other day I was in downtown Naperville, and it felt so weird. Again, I live like 3 or 4 miles from there, but we used to go there almost every night and go out to the bars or go to dinner or go shopping or go for ice cream or what have you. And I was down there the other day, and I felt like a tourist. Felt kind of out of place. And when you don't go back to something, or when I don't go visit the bars, I'll just speak for me, I almost feel like nobody's at the bars. And I'm probably wrong. There are probably people still going to the bars, but if a tree falls in the wood and nobody hears it, does it still make a sound? I don't know. So. Anyway, it's Friday. I feel great because my babies have been asleep for maybe half an hour. I've done my live show, which always feels good and puts me in a good place. And try and go live as often as I can. I'll do thoughts from the gym. Or it's Thursday. I'm sorry, Star. You're right. It is Thursday. I said it's Friday. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. You're right. It's Thursday. Again, I don't get Fridays. I don't get Fridays. Or I don't have Fridays. I don't take advantage of them. It feels like it's my Friday because my wife's off tomorrow. And so it feels like, hey, we're home together with the babies. And I don't know. I get out of the house a little more. I go to Starbucks. I go to the gym. And schedule just frees up a little bit. So it feels like a Friday. So I apologize for anybody out there that's getting all excited because it's Friday when it's actually Thursday. But I feel good because the babies are down. They're probably going to be asleep for another couple hours. I got some more cleaning to do. Got some video editing to do. And I am sure I have a bunch of things that are going to keep me busy over the next couple hours. Edward Dule asked if me and my wife work things out. We're working on working things out. We're trying. We're doing our best. And we're trying and we're doing our best. We got separated and then some a year and change ago. But it's hard not being an everyday dad and being around my babies full time. And that was hard, and I know it was hard for her, and hard on the babies, I'm sure, although they didn't know it. And I know the baby's life will be better with me involved in it as much as possible. So, we're working on working things out and doing our best and moving forward and drinking our coffee and smiling and walking our dog and smelling the roses and enjoying the sunsets. And I'd encourage you to do the same. And I want to thank you all for hopping on with me Thursday in this fine cold. It's sunny, but it's still cold out. We had like 70-degree weather the other day, or it was low 70s, and it almost felt hot. We were doing some yard work, and I started feeling like hot and exhausted. And last couple of days, it felt chilly again. It was a shock to the system. But anyway, it's Thursday. Thursday afternoon, about 12:20. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. A great, great week. I hope you're feeling good. The year's 2 months over now. And again, time goes fast. So I hope you're enjoying it and living in the moment and enjoying your day, enjoying your week, enjoying your year, and enjoying your life. And if you're going through struggles, know that you're not alone, and do your best to smile. Maybe watch some of my videos, might shake you out of the doldrums. I know they help me, and it seems funny to say, but watching me talk sometimes makes me feel good. I don't know, I'm usually smiling when I'm talking, and sometimes alone at 3 a.m, I'm not smiling. I'm going, what am I going to do? And just seeing somebody else and being around somebody with some positive energy and smiles sometimes helps you. So, again, I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope you are enjoying your Thursday. I hope you are loving yourself. I hope you are forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.